Hi there, I'm Dr. Terry Schoenfeld for the Critical Appraisal Institute for Librarians, and welcome to Module 1. We're going to get this course started with going over the design of observational studies and randomized controlled trials. Then we're going to get into a framework of how you critically appraise studies, and the key whenever we read a study is we wanted to know if there's any chance, bias, or confounding affecting the results, or if the results represent the truth of what the intervention is or how good the diagnostic study is, or the association we're looking for in the observational study. We'll talk about how to critically appraise these two study designs, and in later modules, of course, of how to critically appraise other study designs. So each of the modules of the course will have this handout that I call an agenda, but it's just a guide to the material that we would like you to learn about during this module. And in Module 1, we're going to focus on observational studies and randomized controlled trials. So we're going to focus a large part of this course on critical appraisal. And so what is critical appraisal? Well, critical appraisal are these three steps. Are the results of the study valid? What are the results? We have to make sense of what we're reading. And will the results help me take care of my patient? So this course is going to give you the skills to do number 1 and number 2 and to teach that information to learners. Step 3 really requires a lot of clinical judgment, and our learners will gain this as they go through their clerkships and their residencies and really for the rest of their lives. Critical appraisal is done using various tools, and the ones we're going to focus on are from the Critical Appraisal Skills Program. They're based on the JAMA Users Guides. Note that there are other tools that are out there that have been validated also that some people use. They all pretty much ask the same thing, some in more detail than others. But really, there's only certain elements that are biases that affect certain studies, and all these tools will have those common elements in them. So I think the key is using the simplest things and leave the more detailed instruments for people who need to do research. A key concept of this whole course will be this flowchart. This is critical appraisal right here, of trying to determine if there's bias, chance, or confounding impacting our study results. If not, then we can believe them as representing the truth. And a critical element to understand from this course. And I always tell my learners in my EBM course, if they walk away with nothing else, they don't remember a single thing else that I taught them, please remember this slide. And it'll be stressed throughout the rest of the course also. So you're going to have different materials to learn from. You're going to obviously learn from your colleagues and your instructors, but also we'll have some readings that are available to you. We will have some videos that have been made that we think are good at demonstrating principles. It's not the only things that are good. There are lots of things out there that are useful resources. These are just some that we decided to put together for you. And I think the key is exposing yourself to as much of this material as you can. This is tough stuff. It took me a while to really get comfortable being able to understand this material, use it, and teach it. So don't be frustrated if you see these concepts, they seem very foreign to you. Just use multiple resources, read things, watch things, and it'll all ultimately click together, especially when you have to teach it. So we're going to look at observational studies and talk about what they are. We'll talk about how to critically appraise those things. We'll talk about randomized controlled trials and the different elements in designing a randomized controlled trial and why they're important. And then importantly, we'll critically appraise these types of studies.